performing in Baz Luhrmann's musical La Boheme in 2002, for which he won a Tony. Can you imagine? Alongside the cast, and has been a favourite both here in the West End and Broadway ever since. He's best known, in my eyes anyway, for playing Jean Valjean in musical Les Miserables. He's also teamed up with another theatre legend, Michael Ball, for a number of hugely successful albums and tours. I was there last year. Fantastic gig it was as well. He's about to perform live at the Trentham live event in Stoke-on-Trent, and he joins me on Drivetime. Alfie Boe, everybody, hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much. I should say you're in America at the moment talking to us. Thank you so much for being on with us. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I wish it was in person. I like to do interviews face to face, but this is as good as we can get it now.
That's very true. Actually, my daughter, who's 26, is a huge fan of yours. She would like it to be in person as well. She would have been here if you'd been here as well. So for your sake, I've kept her away.
Thank you. Okay.
That's all right. Well, listen, congratulations. We're going to talk about lots of things. We're going to talk about you at Trentham Gardens live in September. But before we get there, let's talk about your life so far. Because, I mean, what a career you've had to date so far. I mean, I could easily ask you for a highlight. But for me, if I tell you what my highlight was, the 25th anniversary of Les Miserables, the concert, seeing you performing in that is a highlight for me. I think that was amazing. Your vocals are just sublime. Where did they come from? And is Les Mis such a milestone for you as it is for everybody else watching?
Yeah, I mean, Les Mis for me, you know, when I got asked to play the role of Valjean, I didn't really know if it was something that was my thing to do, you know. And then my wife said, "Have you never heard Les Mis?" And I said, "No, I've never heard it. I've heard a couple of the songs from it, but I've never seen the show. I've never listened to it." And she said, "Right, well, you sit down and have a listen to it." So it was really down to her that I decided to do the role. I listened to it, and then the more and more I listened to it over and over again, it just started to get into my body. And then when I read the book and understood the character, and I really sort of got into it. I just identified with Valjean so much, and before you know it, I was on stage in front of 22,000 people in the O2 Arena singing "Bring Him Home." And
what a song to sing! I mean, I saw Hugh Jackman performing songs from Les Mis a couple of years ago in Birmingham, and the whole of the, I think it was the NEC. No, it was the NEC. The whole place fell silent, and you could feel the hairs on the back of your neck. I mean, when you're performing that song, is it hard to stay focused because it's so emotional? I mean, do you ever cry on stage? Is that possible? Do you get that?
Yeah, I have done. I have sort of cried in the middle of that song, and you know, it adds something to it. I think as long as you're in control of the sound that you're producing, then there's no harm in letting those emotions out. You know, is expressing them. You know, that. I think in Les Mis, the moment that I cry the most is there's a moment, there's a small scene where Valjean walks on and he meets Marius, and it's sort of like his way of saying goodbye. He's going to go away because he doesn't want any more trouble to follow Cosette. So if he stays out of the way, Cosette and Marius will have a peaceful life. And it's his moment in the show where he can really sort of say goodbye, and that for me is just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
you know, I have a daughter of 13, and you know,
my commiserations.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. You know, I keep looking at pictures of myself on the screen. It's like, well, I've got a little bald spot there, and then when I look closer, it's grey hair.
I'm the same here. My beard's gone grey. I've got 3 children. 2 of them have been through 13 and been through puberty. That's what this is about. This is all to do with them. But you can go and offload. So you can park the 13-year-old somewhere, maybe in a mall or in front of a TV or something, and you can go and perform in front of these people. And I mean, your career, I mean, going back, I mean, you started off, I mean, you are a classically trained singer. Did you have any intention to get into musical theatre? Because we mentioned Baz Luhrmann and La Boheme at the beginning of this interview.
Yeah.
And that was your gateway, wasn't it, into musical theatre?
Well, it was my gateway into the musical world, into the Broadway world. But La Boheme is actually an opera. It's a classical opera written by Puccini, and I performed that I think 2 years prior at Glyndebourne down in Sussex. So Baz saw that production, wanted me to go and audition for him, and I went down and he gave me the role. And yeah, it wasn't really my intention to go into musical theatre, but the opportunity to do that came about from the 25th of Les Mis.
Yeah.
So that was really my first little venture, and then I did a few more shows, and then a couple more on Broadway, and I love it. I love that world. It's a great world to be a part of.
And watching you and Michael Ball together, I mean, whose idea was that partnership? I mean, I came to see you, I think it was in Nottingham. It might have been early last year before the pandemic. And both myself and my daughter, big fans of both of yours, listening to songs that we know very well. And I'm thinking, how do these two voices go together? Because you're so different. You're chalk and cheese, but you blend so well.
Well, you know, we were in a show together in London, terrible production. It was a beautiful musical, but terrible production. And we got the worst reviews. But we became really good friends after that. And then Michael invited me onto his prom concert at the Albert Hall to do a duet with him. And that was the first time we really sang together. We never sang in the show. So it was the first time we did a duet. And Michael sort of realized that I could save his career. And you know, and
thank you for doing that. That's great.
Yeah. So he said, you know, should we? How about teaming up? Do you feel like doing a few concerts? And I said, yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. And then it sort of disappeared a little bit, and about 5 years later, the idea had sort of gone into the dust and stuff. But then 5 years later, I called him up and I said, why don't we try it out? Why don't we do this? We'd been talking about it over those 5 years. Said, let's get together. Let's do it. Let's do some concerts and just take the bull by the horns and see how it goes. And we were going to look for three of us. But then we thought, you know, why do we need three? I think we could do it just the two of us.
You should have called me. You should have called me anyway.
I know.
You know,
we didn't. We lost your number. Oh, I'm sorry, but
no. Look, you've got my number now.
Well, you know where I am. We know.
maybe we'll meet up in Stoke-on-Trent when you come to do this Trentham Live thing in September. I mean, I am available. Not a problem at all.
Wicked.
So that's fine.
Thank you.
No, I can rescue your career.
Exactly. There you go.
So let's talk about that then.
I've not had a career for the last 18 months.
Well, bless you. Well, nobody has. It doesn't matter. You can come back fresh. Everyone will go, who's this new guy? Alfie. He's all right, isn't he? What's with the grey hair? I blame the daughters. It's always good to blame the daughters.
Exactly.
So Trentham Live, September. It's a weird bill, and not in terms of the people in it terrible, because they're not. It's an odd. You've got the Vamps. They're on this show next week. McFly and yourself. I mean, that's an amazing lineup.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, are you doing some rock at any point? Blend in?
You know what? I think with these concerts, I think they like to get a nice varied mix of artists. But I will be doing a bit of rock music, maybe at some point. There's a section of really happy, upbeat country songs that I've been listening to lately that I want to do. There's a few new songs that I've been writing during lockdown, and so I'm wanting to throw a couple of those in as well.
Oh, we can't wait! And 5th of September, Sunday the 5th of September. The weather's going to be glorious.
Obviously, there will be also the Les Mis sections.
Of course. Well, I'd be going home if there wasn't, to be honest with you. There has to be. As always, we've run out of time. I think because we've been chatting nonsense for 15 minutes. We've run out of time. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you. We're going to all come and see you in September at Trentham Live. The details will be on our Facebook page. We will do, just to support you, because I think you need it. Bless your heart. And thank you for joining us live from the US. Safe journey home in September. We're going to play, if you don't mind, a bit of you and Michael and Bring Me Sunshine, because it always makes me smile.
Thank you so much.
And later on our musical spot later, we're going to throw in a bit of Les Mis for our fans as well. So it's Alfie Boe Day here at Black Country Radio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on. And Alfie Boe, everybody. Thank you.